Hey, Kerry Grinkmeyer here with Best of U.S. Homes, Birmingham. It's the 3rd of September, so it's time to do a review, the state of the market, real estate market here in Birmingham, Alabama. What I want to do is let you know what's happening and what you can expect in the future. I'm comparing 2017 to 2018 through September the 1st. In Birmingham, last year there were 20,514 homes sold. This past year it was 19,332. So that's a decrease in the number of homes sold by roughly 6%. This is kind of in line with what's happening throughout the nation. The average house sold in 2018 for $22,826. That's an increase of $10,000 or about 5%. Again, this is pretty indicative of what's happening across the nation. And that's driven by the fact the biggest percentage of the buyers of homes at this point are the millennials. They're getting married, they're having children, and they're out buying homes, and they're pushing, because of lack of supply, they're pushing the actual prices up. As the prices go up, the number of houses that sell go down. So that's pretty much in line. The other thing that's important to me that I always look at is listings per sale. Last year, from September to September, there were 28,826 homes listed and 21,254 of them sold. That's a 73, almost a 74% sell-through rate. And that's good. That's why what you read in the paper is pretty much saying that we're in a hot market. And I would agree with that. But what I want you to see, and I'm going to move over here to give it a little more room, we're actually dealing in two separate markets. And as you can see here, in the what I call the 0 to 250,000, we're having a sell-through rate of about 78%. So that's truly the biggest part of the market. Out of the 21,000 homes that sold, 14,716 of them were in this below $250,000 market. As we step up to 250 to 500,000, the sell-through rate drops to 69%, and of the 21,000 that were sold, 5,400 of them are in this price range. And what you're going to see here as we move through this is those two under $500,000 represents 95% of the houses sold in Birmingham, Alabama. It doesn't represent the number of listings because as you can see, as we move from 500,000 up, the percentage sold starts to drop quite dramatically. As we get up to 1.5 to 2 million, it drops all the way down to 43%, and then the next category, 2 to 2.5, 38%, and 2 to 2.5 to 3, 33%. Now, again, over 500,000 only represents 5% of the market, but again, if your house is in that price range, you've got to recognize that you've got a 50-50 chance of selling your home. And what I want to emphasize here is you've got to do something different in order to get it sold. I want to compare it to the auto industry. You're not selling, if you're selling a $500,000 home or more, you're not selling a Ford, a Toyota, a Nissan, a Mazda. You're selling a Porsche, a Lamborghini, or a Ferrari. Now, and no one needs the Porsche, Lamborghini, and Ferrari. And that's true of your home, too. So you have to create a desire. I have found that the most effective way to create a desire is video. You have to experience a luxury home in order to want a luxury home. You have to see the features and amenities that are available to you at over $500,000 that you don't have under $500,000. And take a cue from Porsche. They put you behind the wheel on a video and get your blood boiling and say, I think I'd like to own one of those. And that's what you've got to do. At the end of this video, I'm going to have a link to 2 videos that I have done on 2 of the 7 listings that I have. I do a video on every home that I sell because I believe so strongly in this, that we're in a market now that if I'm going to sell this $500,000 or more home, I've got to put it out there on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I've got to gather a custom audience of people that I have determined are potential buyers of these homes, gather their email addresses, and put it in their email box so that they experience. One of the videos, we've had over 2,000 viewings in the last 30 days. So that's comparable, if you think about it, as 2,000 people coming through the front door. Now, I'll grant you that all 2,000 of these people don't have $2 million to buy a home. But if I'm going to sell it, I've got to make the market aware of it so that if someone sees it and knows somebody who is in market for that house, I have a potential of selling it. So understand that this represents 5%, the 500,000 or more of the homes are for sale. So when you hear that the market is hot, they're talking about the houses under $500,000. I can't call a market hot if only 55% or in some cases 11% of the houses actually sell. So if you're in the lower market and a buyer, understand the prices are going to be going up because supply is short. If you're in the over 500,000, understand you're going to have to do something more than just put a sign in your yard and an MLS listing so that it shows up on Zillow and Realtor.com and all this. You're going to have to do more. I suggest, and what I tell my clients, I'll promote your house on both social media and conventional media, and then I'll show up for every showing. And think of it this way. If you're going to buy a Lamborghini, do you really think you would be satisfied if you went and there was a key on the right front tire and you and your wife got in it and you drove it and then came back to the dealership and said, we'd like to make an offer? Well, that's what you're doing if you're putting an electronic lockbox or a combination lockbox on your door. You're not hiring a salesman. You're hiring a listing agent. And if you're satisfied with a 50-50 chance of selling your house, go right on. Use a listing agent. If you're not, hire a salesman. Look at the videos I've done. Hey, I'll do this every month. I think it's important as a real estate agent that I give you factual information so that you can make a good decision. Thanks.